35 years, folks have been flocking to the Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival here in Houston County. Hello and welcome to this fall edition of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. It's one of the fall editions as we are here in Houston County. Didn't have to travel far, but it's one of the top events in the South. If you're into arts, crafts, music, and more, well, this is the place to go. There's entertainment, there's food, and vendors from all across the country who have come to sell their wares at the Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival. We're going to take you right here on this edition of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. Let's head inside. Julie Torrance was kind enough to escort us about the 35th annual Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival. She talked about the origins of the festival and how her family started it up and continue to perform duties keeping the festival alive. Well, Julie, tell me, you got a lot of people who are here, but you've got a lot of help in putting this together. You have people volunteering to come out and help you, or you paid staff, or?
Well, the family, we're all, if you're blood kin, you're volunteered. Or if you marry into the clan, you're volunteered. But we do have a lot of people that we hire too, for both the land preparation and during the show. There aren't any volunteers other than the family members.
The family?
Yeah.
Now, how early do you start preparations?
About 8 weeks before the show, as far as the land goes. Now, the crafter invitations for an October show go out in March. So we start pretty early with the paperwork. We're going to go down this way.
All right.
I'm just trying to keep you from running into a tree.
I won't. I won't hurt the trees, I promise.
No, I'm not worried about the trees. I was worried about you.
Well, since it's been going on 35 years, how many thousands of people or million people would you imagine have come through?
I don't know, but when we first started it, we did hire a number of teenagers just like we do now. And when my father passed away a couple of years ago, a lot of them showed up with their children. So they're all adults now, and they have their own group of children. And so we've touched a lot of lives, I know that. And we touched a lot of lives as far as people just coming out and really enjoying themselves. This gentleman right here flies in from California. He makes the flutes, and then he and his partner do harp music and flute music like he's doing now.
Vendors were set up across the grounds, offering guests a chance to shop for some unique items. We discovered more about the art of making reed flutes.
Homegrown bamboo. I grow that all in Florida. Oh, close, very close. Keep those ends covered and touch it to your bottom lip. You want to get it right up tight. You might have to roll it at first, and it really helps in front of the mirror. You might have to roll it. Get it a little lower. Get it down to your lip. Very close.
Down here.
Very close. There it is. Yeah, he's gonna get it.
You're doing it. Keep practicing. Just don't come to grandma's house.
Another vendor on site showcased his blacksmithing skills. Now, he talks about learning the art from his dad and how he heats, pounds, and shapes red-hot metal. More of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal is
How long have you been smithing?
I started picking up shows about 6 years ago. My dad did it for about 35 years before that, and I used to do shows with him. So.
So it's passed on from generation to generation.
Yep.
Maybe before your dad, your grandfather, great-grandfather, somewhere in there?
Just to make tools and such, not as a living. I know my great-grandfather did it because that's where my dad got all of his tools. But before that, I don't know.
Okay. So it's really a lost art because there's not much call for blacksmithing anymore, really.
Not so much in a practical sense, not really, no. But anytime anybody has a house that's on a register of historic places that needs hardware, anything like that replaced in the house, we can replace it.
Duplicate the old wrought ironwork, things like that.
Yep.
And of course, it was a necessity in farm life from decades before. Back,
Oh, yeah.
It was the only way that implements got repaired or made.
Yeah, if you didn't live near a train yard where something could be shipped to you, everything that was made out of metal, if you think about it, in a house was made by a blacksmith.
And I noticed you got a real handy portable setup. Did you make it yourself?
No, this is a bunch of pieces. This is the table for the forge is turn of the century. The fire pot's fairly new. This is actually Navy World War I. But it's
It's a bellows for you.
yes. I mean, you gotta do what you can do. So if you can find the parts, you can put it together. I think the original bellows for this forge is too big for me to travel around with it. So
Well, that's handy. You're recycling and using war surplus then.
yep, yeah. This actually came off a ship from World War I.
And was its function on the ship?
Same principle. It's everything on the ship that if you're out at sea, if you need something replaced, if you need a certain size bolt or whatever, a blacksmith would have to make it. I mean, that's the same thing. If you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere, then you can't just pull in the port and get parts. So
Necessity's a mother.
they would strip parts off the ship and make something else out of it. Anything that wasn't necessary would be made into something necessary.
More Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal is coming up as we visit the fall edition of the Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal and our trip to the Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival, Fall Edition 2013. A basket making, it dates back 10 to 12,000 years at least. Archaeologists have dated the earliest baskets discovered to ancient Egypt and other early human civilizations. The basket weaver at Mossy Creek had some of his work up for sale and also shared a story about basket weaving as he worked on a wicker chair.
You have to stop doing the chair bottoms.
Or
No,
bottom.
I'm doing the bottom of a chair. I had a lady come by about 2 hours ago and said that she had a chair in the back of her car, and would I do it? I said, well, let me look at the chair and we'll see. And yep, sure enough, it was a chair that I can work on, and I asked her to leave it with me, so I'm going to try to get it done before the festival's over.
And well, again, this is an art, and you have some special training, though, to do this.
That's right. I received a grant from the Georgia Council for the Arts in 2008 to study up underneath Floyd Anderson, a master basket maker who lives in Milledgeville. I studied up underneath him for about 2 years, and we learned everything from basket making for backpacks and cotton baskets to chair bottom.
And of course, before modern technology, baskets were handmade, and everybody basically used them from a picnic basket or something to carry goods in from the field or
That's right.
whatever.
That's right. A lot of people used baskets to carry food to church. When we didn't have Walmart, you couldn't just get a little bag to carry things in. So you don't have Kroger. A lot of people
exchanged eggs and bread in baskets, and they just switched them out.
You're weaving, and the material you're weaving with, now it is...
This material that I'm weaving the chair bottoms in is flat cane, and I get this from a source in Connecticut. But all of my baskets are made from white oak. It comes from central Georgia, and we go out into the woods and we go cut down a tree, take it back to the house, and bust it up into 8ths or 16ths, whatever we can get out of it, and then keep working it consecutively until we get down to the annual rings. And those are our weavers, and we weave with the white oak.
And it can be used for, I guess, for anything from a picnic basket to a decorative basket, any kind of product you can make.
That's right, that's right. You can use the white oak to do chair bottoms for, but I don't like to do that because it's so time consuming to get my materials. I don't get my money's worth out of the chair bottoming with white oak, but I can get my money's worth out of a basket.
And
so I do baskets.
Typically, say a smaller basket, how long would it take you to weave something like that?
It takes about 10 hours, start to finish, to weave a basket. You can't do it in one day or in one sitting. It takes a couple of days, different days of work to get it done, just because of the different stages that you have to go through. But all in all, it takes about 10 hours.
Well, you certainly do some intricate work in the detail of the weave.
Yeah, well, a lot of the detailing all comes from the wood itself. You know, white oak is a very pretty wood anyway, and it lends itself well to baskets and patterns and weaving.
Mossy Creek is a whole lot more than just arts and crafts. There's also plenty of food to sample. And on the entertainment stage, a variety of artists performed. We took a chance to stop and enjoy one group of cloggers. The 35th installment of Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival, our presentation here on this week's edition of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. Glad to have you along with us. We're going to take a time out. That was the art of basket weaving. Coming up, we're going to show you the art of glass making. That and a whole lot more coming up from Mossy Creek in this installment of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. Stick around. Welcome back to Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal and this visit to the Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival. One fascinating demonstration was a part of this year's event, glass blowing. Historians believe the earliest evidence of glass blowing dates all the way back to Israel, the Middle East, and ancient Rome. It's believed that the earliest examples were made in the 1st century BC. Most bottles are now mass-produced in casts and through core forming, but for thousands of years, glass blowers made everything from tubes to pipes, bottles, and rods. The artisans at Mossy Creek taught and currently teach the course in glass blowing at Georgia Southwestern University in Americus. Art of glass blowing probably goes back to ancient
thousands of years. Yep, hasn't changed in thousands of years.
Fuel's changed.
Yep, fuel source has changed. Used to burn wood, now we're burning propane or electric.
And of course, the glass products we get nowadays are all mass-produced.
A lot of them are. Some of them are still hand blown.
How long did I guess, would you consider yourself a master glass blower, or?
I would consider him a master glass blower.
Yes, he would consider
I
me
would
a master
consider
glass.
him.
When my teacher considers me a master glass blower, I'll be a master glass blower. So there you have it.
All right. How long did it take you to learn?
I've been blowing glass for 11 years.
What techniques is there? I mean, it's more or less, I think of like a kid with a bubble pipe blowing bubbles.
Right.
But I guess if you don't know the right technique, you could ruin the glass or get in a real mess.
Well, it's as much fun as blowing bubbles when you're a kid. I really fell in love with it right away when I saw that. So, yeah, the university, we build all the equipment at the university to blow all the glass. So it's all, and the students all learn how to build furnaces, and they participated in building this one.
Temperature inside in order to melt the glass and keep it molten, I would assume.
Yeah, 2,000 degrees. I liken it to lava. It's as hot as lava.
How does the glass start? It starts in what form?
Well, raw materials. Yeah, we get raw materials and melt it down.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's like sand.
Sand or silica.
Something to make the sand melt.
And then you have a flux in it, which is an ash, and then a stabilizer, which is the lime. And then you melt all those together, and you get to glass.
So I'm going to get a glob of glass on there, a couple of globs, then that's going to be sort of clear. Then we're going to put cobalt blue threads around it. Then we're going to heat that up and rake those threads around to make bunting looking patterns. Then we'll blow a bubble into that, shape the bubble, put a couple of little decorative bits on it and a foot, transfer it to a punty rod, open it up, put a little bit of blue trail around the top, pinch it around there, flare it open, that'll be that. You can only get so much on one shot, so I'm going to let this cool off a little, build up some mass to work with. That's probably enough, so I'm going to shape this up a little bit, pull it a little bit off the pipe, and then Chuck's going to bring me some blue glass. This piece of steel is pulling heat off the surface, and it's working as a butter knife right now, scraping the peanut butter off my blowpipe. Now push it back a little bit. Now I'm going to put a tiny bubble in there. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to blow into the pipe and cover the pipe's end with my thumb. It'll trap the air in there. The air will heat up and expand and blow the bubble. So there's really not much blowing to blowing glass. That's it. See anything, Chuck?
Yep.
Little. I just want a little teeny, just to clear the mouth of the pipe. And then this is going to get cold, and he'll bring me the blue trails on there, and then we'll
Trail going on will be nice.
We'll have fun. Yeah, we'll get that trail. It's going to be a hot ball of glass, and we'll just thread it on there, just like you're winding thread on. Angle that way so I don't burn my hand again. This is an old Art Nouveau technique, actually. I think it's older than that. Now I'm going to heat this surface up. It's called a hot trail. Better. What do I do with my paper? See that pattern now?
Mm-hmm.
Come around that way. About 10 years to quit being nervous about this stuff, you know. I mean, it's just glass. If you mess up, you mess up. Big deal. I learned that from my dear friend Fred Freeman, who taught me how to blow glass. Fred passed away this year. He was marvelous. I was complaining about some stuff that I'd done early in my career. I said, boy, that stuff, I can't believe I made that stuff. He says, yeah, but you had fun making it, didn't you? That was the deal. Just reestablish the crack-off point, because that's going to be that's the coldest part. So I want to hit it first. Now that's frozen. Now I can start shaping. So that end was hotter than the top, and it held heat longer because it was thicker down there. And I'll chill just a little. Gives us a little bit more volume down there. What? I can't see what I'm doing here. Loose fitting cotton shirts and pants. I've been trying to tell Chuck that for years.
It's just he's smart, isn't he? Yeah. Sometimes I wear long pants.
Safe heat. A little hot, so a fracture at 180 degrees, tap the pipe, breaks off.
Nice.
Twice.
All right, well, give us a discount.
How about that? Yes. The U.S. ambassadors.
Yeah, any of our students can take it. Yeah, you can take it too. Yeah.
You have beginners and then
Yep, all the way up. beginners to all.
Is it nice or just days?
Just stay.
Is it in the
We don't do this.
Is that
we just started doing
about
this.
right?
We don't even have
pretty?
nice.
Plenty of folks coming out for this 35th annual Mossy Creek Barnyard Festival here in Houston County, Georgia, one of the top events in the Peach State each and every year. It happens the third weekend in October. So go ahead and mark your calendars for October 2014, because you can bet it will be back, a huge Saturday and Sunday event, the third weekend in October every year here just off Lake Joy Road in Houston County, Georgia. It's been our stop this week on Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. Glad to have you along with us, and we'll hope to see you next time somewhere out there in the Peach State. Remember, if you've got an idea for a show or a location that you would like to see us check out, well, why don't you give us a line at 923-3416. That's the phone number, area code 478. Or you can like us on Facebook, check out some of the photos of stops we've made in the past. And you can also email me at toddwilson@warnerrobinspatriot.com. That's going to do it for us on this edition of Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. I'll see you next time somewhere out there in the Peach State.